Hey, what's up guys, this is WhiteRa here and I am going to be casting a 1 versus 1 between our red Terran player spawning in the bottom left side. His name is Predy and his opponent is the blue Protoss spawning in the bottom right side, and his name is DuckloadRa, also known as WhiteRa. Duckload is the sponsor for those who do not know. But he changed that a long time ago, and before that he was known as WhiteRa, and that name is stuck, so I'm going to call him WhiteRa and DuckloadRa 50-50% of the times, I think. Anyways, he's a great Ukrainian player from Europe, that is, if you don't know where Ukraine is located. And he's currently ranked 17th on the European server with 1655 wins and 985 losses. That is so good. He has such a great win-loss ratio there. And he has so many games played, and that is stunning because he is actually 29 years old and he has a wife and kids, I believe. So playing StarCraft at this level with so many games, when you have made such a commitment as getting married and starting a family, that is crazy how he can just pull that off. But his opponent, Predy, is the best Czech player, I believe, and also European, that is, if you don't know where the Czech Republic is. This is like a geography lesson, but when it's supposed to be a StarCraft 2 cast, so let's leave the countries, and this is Predy once again. He's ranked 117th place on the European server, 100 places behind DuckloadRa. He has currently at 315 wins and 173 losses, so not nearly as many games played as WhiteRa at all. And we have DuckloadRa's probes scouting up here in Predy's base, and you can see that Predy is upgrading his command center into a orbital command at 17, somewhat delayed because you want to get it at 15 or 16, which is, but you can do it whenever you want. And that probe went down, and that is actually a big deal for WhiteRa. And Predy is going to scout out, and he's going to scout cross positions immediately, which is pretty peculiar to me. Why is doing that? And the map is going to be Shakuras Plateau, which has been removed from the new map ladder pool on 1v1, the 1 versus 1 map ladder pool. So can't play this anymore, which I think is unfortunate because I really like this map. And DuckloadRa is going to place a pylon up here, plus we're going to warp in units down here on the low ground later in the game, but yeah, I'm not sure why he placed that there. Maybe going to scout when units approaching his base or something. Meanwhile, he's just playing out standard and going to grab his second assimilator just as he's pushing that SCV, no, not an SCV, no, an SCV out of his base. One thing a lot of players do, which is really common on this map, is to put their second pylon down here, or even their first pylon, and block this off with 1 or 2 gateways, or 1 gateway and a forge, and get that fast expand at around 3 or 4 minutes into the game. So DuckloadRa did not do that because he's more known for getting his 3-gate into expand, which he's most likely going to do in this game as well. We can take a look at Predy's base, and we can see that he's already setting up his expansion, and he's also getting some reactor marines and following it up with a factory into a starport, and we have a Destiny Cloudfish build, as Husky's calling it. And so am I, and everybody else in the StarCraft 2 community, I hope. You can also call it the 1-1-1 build, but it could be somewhat confusing to what the 1-1-1 is referring to. So but so is just the Cloudfish build, so that makes no sense whatsoever. But it is a barracks into a factory into a starport, and basically you can go anywhere from there. You can get you can add in some barracks to get and then get a reactor on the starport and pump out some medevacs, or you can just go medevacs and some marauders, and you can add in some Hellions. You can basically go anywhere. I don't know Terran buildings too good, but Yeah, it's a nice build to go if you can pull it off, because you are vulnerable to early pushes if you go that build. Because units will just be too expensive to produce and you can't hold off early pushes. But as I said, WhiteRa is going to 3-gate into expand, which is the most common Protoss build to do, and is the most common build that WhiteRa does, I think. And it's now adding in his robotics. So he's going 3-gate robotics and possibly going to spawn an observer out of here immediately and creating 2 observer, but he's cancelling 1, so not want to overproduce for observer. And now he has his expansion up running. I would not be surprised if we see him grab the 3rd or 4th Vesping Geyser in a minute, as he's probably going to trek towards Colossus, but no, he's not. He's taking towards what it seems to be Blink Stalkers, or maybe Sludge Charge, or even Storms, because Storms are really effective, and especially cost effective against the Terran bio boss. So if he can utilize those Storms to maximum, he could definitely be in good shape here if Predy get out some bunch of ground units. But let's see where he goes when this Twilight Council finishes. So yeah, what did he do there? I guess he transferred too many probes or something, because or there was a drop that I missed. I'm sure there was a drop that I missed. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sure it's a drop, because he has fewer probes than before, and he transferred a lot of probes from his expansion to here, and he's also keeping a bunch of units here, so I'm sorry about that, guys. But look at this. WhiteRa is producing a War Prism, and that is something that WhiteRa is really famous to do, is immortal drops. I guess he's like the only player who does immortal drops anyways, but drops with any units is what DuckloadRa is doing a lot of the time, and drops can be very effective if you're a Protoss player, because you can drop 4 units and then you can summon in, no, not summon, warp in an infinite amount of units. But you can see here he's taking towards the High Templars, as I've said, so he's going to just storm away at all Predy's units, but Predy's not getting too many ground units, I would say. And just as I said that, he unloaded his bunker and revealed a bunch of Marines, but we have a drop here from WhiteRa going to load up in this War Prism and scooting out of here. And you gotta remember that War Prisms are really fragile. They only have 140 health. Going to unload them on the low ground, but you remember that the Stalkers do have a range advantage to the Marines, so with that War Prism to spot a high ground, he can just shoot away at those Marines, but his Viking pushed away WhiteRa's War Prism, so I don't think he did too much damage there. You can see now he's producing an Immortal and also researching the Storms. We can say Predy is actually getting out a Banshee from his starport. I wonder if he has any Banshee more. No, he has a Raven actually. That is strange, but it's always nice to mix in a Raven with your army, because you have that point friendstone, which is really effective against those Stalkers, which make them almost worthless. He also is looking to secure his 3rd expansion, but WhiteRa is one step ahead, and he has a Zealot there to scout that, so he'll know when he's going to setting up a new expansion. And he has a War Prism flying around in the back looking for secret expansions to storm away at the SCVs. But WhiteRa is getting tricked. Predy is actually securing this base, which most likely you will see players secure this as their 3rd, and this maybe as their 4th or 5th base, but Predy is securing this as his 3rd base. So and we have a Hellion round by for Predy, which is going to do nothing, because those Immortals are just so good against those Hellions, so bad luck for him there. And we have an SCV here to scout this Ninja expansion from WhiteRa, so he will have no benefit from that, because Predy will know that it's there. But DuckloadRa had swooped in here with his High Templars, I guess, because they have no energy. Well, they have a bunch of energy left, so I guess they stormed once or so. And because all those SCVs were just running away moments ago. And what do we have going on here? I heard something shooting, but I don't know where that was coming from. I guess it was this missile turret killing off an observer for DuckloadRa. I'm not sure. We can see that Kydarian Amulet is being researched, which is really crucial to have as a Protoss player if you go in storms. We can see that this SCV is just lucky all the day and scouting out 2 ninja expansions from DuckloadRa. Well, this is not a secret expansion, this is a natural third take, but we have Hellions up here and going to shoot away at those Uniflex cannons for DuckloadRa, but we have 2 Immortals coming up here, and the Hellions don't do squat to those Immortals, neither to the Stalkers, so all these Immortals will go down if he does not micro them perfectly, and he most surely did micro them perfectly, and DuckloadRa did not micro his units at all. He just moved them and up there, so letting all those Hellions escape and shoot away as his probes there. But he has even more Immortals on the way, which Immortals is really good against the Terran units, like all the units except for the Marines actually, so what is going on? We have 5 gateways from DuckloadRa, not more, considering he's on 4 base, not fully saturated, but still has 4 bases up and running, so he could definitely add in a bunch more gateways into this mix, and even a second robotics if you want to, because then when his economy is just skyrocketing through the roof, he can reinforce this army so quickly. But look at this, we have more Hellions coming up here to DuckloadRa's expansion. Yeah, it has to set up more cannons here, I think, because Hellions are so bad against cannons, but warping in 3 Stalkers will probably be able to deal with this no problem whatsoever. But we have more Hellion up here harassing at that one lonely probe and this Nexus, and Hellions don't do much damage against buildings, so these Stalkers will just reinforce up here. No, DuckloadRa is actually bringing his whole army to hold that off, leaving his front door vulnerable. But what did this Warp Prism up do? He's going to go for a drop here, I think. This will be interesting. Let's take a look at where this Warp Prism is going. Nah, it moves too slow. But he has a stray Stalker down here, so and a bunch of auditors placed here for Predy, so maybe the Stalker has been used for shooting away at these mirror line, but no. But nice storms here, but I thought that Warp Piston would go away with 2 High Templars in it, but it did not. So nice storms for some mining here at this location, and Predy's once again going to swoop in with his Hellions here and harass at DuckloadRa's base